Hello everyone, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian, and I am broadcasting to you live from beautiful Budapest, Hungary. All right, so today we are doing IELTS listening, parts 3 and 4. They're the more difficult or more challenging parts of the listening section. And as usual, our materials and these listening audios and questions are coming from our websites. AEHelp.com for academic IELTS. Please visit us there. And for general IELTS, please visit us at IELTShelp.com. Of course, the listening section of IELTS is the same for both academic and general. So the strategies that I'm teaching you today, whether you are an academic IELTS student or general, doesn't matter. They will work for both, because the listening and speaking sections of IELTS are the same for both modules. Hi, everyone. I'm doing okay. I'm getting over a pretty bad cold here that I caught, I think, from my daughter, as parents often get from their younger children. But otherwise, I'm holding my own, and my energy level is pretty good, but you might hear that I'm a little bit stuffy. All right, if you're looking to download our app, we have one for academic IELTS. Look for our shield. Search for Academic IELTS Help on your Google Play or iTunes store. And this week, we still have our best promotion of the year going. It's the Cyber Monday discount, this and the Black Friday that we just had. They're the best promotions we have all year. It's 40% off of our full course. That's the 6 full practice exams we use in the live classes, plus a fully interactive 100-hour course for your phone, tablet, PC, over 100 hours of video lessons. Just use the code CYBERDAY on our website at aehelp.com or glshelp.com. So type in Cyber Day into the apply coupon code area to get that. Hi Naveen, hi Begzad, hi Ava. Nice to see so many students joining in. If anybody ever has questions about IELTS or our materials, do feel free to contact me. My email is Adrian, that's my name, ADRIAN, at aehelp.com. You can always send me an email there. Classes are according to Central European time for these YouTube free live streaming classes. Here we have a little bit of the schedule this week. Today, listening part 3 and 4. Tomorrow, we'll do some reading with focus on strategy for filling in the blanks. Hi, Jeffrey. Hi, Shanu. Good to see some members coming on board in this lesson. And then December 1st, we'll be shooting a new speaking interview video. So no class then, no class on the 2nd and 3rd. And on the 4th, we will have a class. So I should erase that. That's a Wednesday. So, oh, sorry, no class on, yeah, that's right, no class on the 4th either. We'll have a class on December 1st. We'll have a members chat only class on that day. So no class on the 4th. All right. So let's get right into the listening. Let's get you warmed up. So this is going to be listening section 3. Don't freak out. In the official IELTS, you'll have section 1 and 2, which are a little bit easier. We're going to start you off with a bit of a challenge today with listening section 3. And then before we do listening section 4, we'll talk strategy. We'll focus on active listening here. Okay, so how do you improve your active listening? What can you do? That will really help to increase your band score and get more answers correct in the listening section. But first, get your pencil and paper ready, ladies and gents. So get a paper and a pencil ready. Get ready to listen. Write down your answers. If you've heard this listening before, don't say anything. Just do your best, okay? It's good to revisit materials, especially for listening and reading sections. Wait until the end of the audio. We'll go over the answers together. Be kind and nice to your fellow classmates. Let them have a chance to answer on their own. So please don't write your answers into the chat until the audio is over. Okay, so wait for that. I'm going to use a speaker and my microphone here with max volume. So if it's quiet for you, I suggest using a headset and turning up the volume, okay? So this is our academic IELTS website. I'm already logged in. If you're looking for general IELTS, it looks like this. The academic looks similar, but with blue. Once you're logged into your My Student account, it looks like this for the audio section. And here we go, students. I hope you're ready for the listening because we're about to start.
Now turn to section 3. Take some time to look at questions 21 to 26. Listening section 3. You will hear a student and her professor talking about their class. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
Come in, Laura.
Thanks a lot for making the time to see me, Professor Gorman. As I mentioned in my email, I've been very ill this past week, and missing the first week of school is not a good way to start the term.
Indeed, it's not a very good start at all, but I think you can overcome it. You had a good grade in my course last term, and I'm sure this absence is just a bump in the road as far as this term goes. Now, what would you like to discuss?
Well, I don't even have a syllabus, so maybe you could give me one and then we could go over it in some detail.
Yes, that would be sensible. Let me grab your syllabus. Here you go. As you see, the class meets each Monday and Thursday from 10 to 11:30 in room A313 of the Juliet building. Do you know where that is?
Yes, the Juliet building is right next to the Student Union building, correct?
Yes, that's right. Okay, so next are my office hours. I hold them each Monday and Wednesday from 2:30 to 4 in the afternoon. If these do not work for you, feel free to send me an email and we can make arrangements to meet at another time. Now, let's discuss the books you'll need. As you see on the syllabus, there are 2 books you'll need for this course. You need not purchase either of them, however, as there are several copies of each available in the library.
I like keeping my books for future reference, so I would prefer to buy both books. Are they available in the bookshop?
The first one is, but the second one must be purchased from Buster's Books. Do you know where Buster's Books is located?
Roughly, but do you have an address?
Yes. The address is 3419 Young Street in Brighton.
Right, I know where that is. Do you know how much the books cost, approximately?
I think the one at the university bookshop is about £20 and the one at Buster's is about £15. So that's a total of £35 for the 2 of them.
You now have some time to look at questions 27 to 30. Now listen to the rest of the discussion and answer questions 27 to 30.
Great. Can we talk a little about the coursework required?
Of course. There are 2 essays, 1 midterm exam and 1 final exam.
Wow, that's a lot of coursework.
Yes, but at this level I don't believe in just having 1 essay or 1 final exam determine your entire mark in a class. I like arranging it so that a student can have a chance to reflect on their ability and understanding of materials throughout the term.
That makes sense. So what are the percentages associated with each assignment and exam?
The first essay is worth 15%, the second is worth 25%, the midterm exam is worth 20%, and the final exam is worth 40%. Would you like to talk about the first essay? It is due next Friday.
Yes, could we?
Of course. The essay should be approximately 1,500 words and the topic must be chosen from the list.
And can I get a copy of the list?
There is one attached to your syllabus.
Right, So, do we have to tell you what topic we are writing on beforehand?
No, it's all right. You only have to notify me if you want to do a topic that is not on the list.
Right. Is the essay due in class, or can we submit it by email?
I will accept essays without penalty until midnight after the class it's due. So, yes, you can submit it by email, hand it in during class, or submit it to the department office. If you submit it to the office, make sure to get a timestamp put on it so that I can be sure the paper was submitted on time. And also, be sure to make...
That is the end of section 3. You will now have half...
Okay, students, and then you have half a minute to check your answers. And you should be checking your answers in that half minute, not looking at the next section, okay? I see a lot of students look at the next section in that half minute, and that's not a good idea, all right? You can easily catch a couple of marks while the information is fresh by looking at your answers, and pay close attention to the instructions. All right, class, let's go through the answers together and talk about them a little bit. Here we go with number 21. So why does the student go to see her professor in this case? So why does the student go to see the professor? She's been in the hospital. She's been ill. She registered late. That's right. So everybody who's answering B, you're correct. She's been ill. She says, I've been quite ill. She doesn't say that she's been to the hospital, so don't assume that because she's ill, she's been in the hospital. And she doesn't talk about registering late. So the correct answer there is B. So in your answer sheet, make sure to put the capital letter B, okay? Don't put the small b, use the capital, especially if the question uses the capital. It's more clear or clearer that way, okay? And sometimes students accidentally write a D instead of a B. They reverse it, okay? So writing the capital B, you avoid that hazard, all right? So write capital letter B. She's been ill in your answer key. All right, which is kind of ironic because I'm getting over a cold myself. Okay, and then questions 22 to 28, this was a fill in the blank, okay? Most of the answers come in the order of the audio. This was fairly straightforward. It's a fairly forgiving type of graph. Let's talk about the answers here. I'll darken up our screen a little bit because it's a brighter background. Okay, class times. So class times are Thursday, 10 to 11:30, and which other day? All right, and Pranay, Akash, Dara, quite a few students before. Shanu, please be careful with the capital M, okay? Days of the week in English are proper nouns, so it's Monday. The M has to be a capital, okay? Because Monday spelled like this in any English context is wrong. This is a misspelt word in English because we never use a small m to write the days of weeks correctly, okay? So it has to be either a capital M or all capital like that. Just pay attention to your spelling. But the M has to be big for you to get that mark. If it's not big, if you didn't write it as a big M on your paper with your pencil, you should not give yourself a mark because the IELTS will not give you the mark, okay? So big M, okay, that has to go into the sheet. All right, location. So where will the class be held? It's in which building? It's in room A313. And which building is it in? So which building will this be in? All right, so Dakhra Surelia has the first correct spelling. It's Juliet, okay? Just like Romeo and Juliet. Juliet can be spelled like that. That's the English spelling. Or you could spell it like that. with the French spelling. It's the Juliet Building. Now, common names like Dave, John, Juliet, Sarah, the IELTS will take different spellings as long as it's one correct type of spelling of that name. Sometimes, especially in part 1 and part 2 of the listening, they'll spell it for you. So they'll say, oh, it's spelled Juliet. In that case, you have to spell it the same way as the audio. If they do not give you the spelling, and in part 3 and 4 they often do not give you the spelling, then you have to get it correct on your own. It will be a common type of name, so they won't give you something that's too difficult, but you do have to spell it correctly. So one of these two. All right, Monday and Wednesday, 2:30 to 4:30. What's happening at that time? So this is the actual event, right? And this is the schedule. So these are the missing elements that you should have recognized. So the event here is the class time. It's the location. And what's happening here for 24? Office times, Bibas, is okay. Office hour might not work. Here you do need the plural. Okay? So this part 3 listening seems a little bit easier, but be careful because it's still a bit tricky with these kinds of details like the plural on hours. In this case, we're counting the office hours because there are multiple hours on multiple days. So you need the 2 words. The correct answer is office hours. Okay, office hours are Monday and Wednesday, 2:30 to 4 in the afternoon. So office hours is the best. Office times, Jasu, Jalal, maybe. They might take that, but they might not. I'm leaning towards I think they would take it on the IELTS if you said office times, but they clearly say office hours twice in the audio, okay? So they repeat the words office hours, so you should try to catch office hours. That's something that you can correct in that 30-second review time. All right. Required books. Book 1 available at the bookshop. Now this wasn't perfectly in order, so you actually heard this answer first, then you heard this one, then you heard this one again after, so they did give you this one twice. What was the answer for number 25? It's 20, that's right, and just use the number. Okay, good. So just the number 20. So in the space for question number 25, just put the number 20 because they give you the symbol for pounds. So don't write pounds. And sometimes students will say 20 like this. As long as the spelling's correct, they'll take that, but it's safer and easier and faster to just write the number 20. So that was good. Good job, Kesey. Good to see you in class. All right, book 2 is available where? It's a bookshop. Again, it's a fairly easy name. It is the name of a bookshop, so you need capital letters. Number 26, what's the answer, ladies and gents? It's not the library books. When you see the big B here, so you see that that's a capital B, you know it's going to be the name of a bookshop. Okay? So what's the name of the bookshop? So it is Buster's Books. Okay, Buster's Books. So Buster's like that, B-U-S-T-E-R-S. Okay, not the library, it's Buster's Books. Okay. There is an S here because the books belongs to Buster. So there's an apostrophe. It's Buster's Books. Now you don't know if Buster's is plural, so you could write it like that. Sorry, you could write it like that. But I believe it's Buster's Books. We'll look at the answer key just to double check that, but I believe it's Buster's Books, okay? All right. Now, here for 27, 28, logic will help you. If you're using a little bit of math, you can figure out answer 27 because usually the total percentage for a course is 100%. So even if you missed this question, you can add 40 to 20, it's going to be 60. Add 15, it's 75. 100 minus 75 equals 25. So thereby, you know that the second essay has to be 25%. Now again, they give you the word percent, so you do not need to put that into your answer, just the number 25, okay? Pay attention to that. If they give you the symbol or the word, make sure not to include that into your answer. Okay, and again, logic and intuition, you can kind of guess number 28. So you have your first essay, you have your second essay, you have the midterm exam, and the number 28 is, that's right, final exam, and you need both words, okay? Remember that the instructions here say no more than 2 words. Always pay attention to those instructions. 2 words. In this case, you need to put final exam. Just writing final is very dangerous. They might not give you the mark for that. All right. So, final exam. Final exam. It's okay if you write a small f like this, final. It's not special. So, final exam could be small, could be big, it's fine. Final exam, but you do need both words. All right? Okay. Good job so far, students. Good job so far. All right. A couple more questions to go. This one is a brief fill in the blank. Write no more than 2 words and or a number for each answer. How long should the first assignment be? They talk a little bit about it. Number 28. How long is that first assignment? Okay, Jod Singh, that's correct. It's 1,500 words. Harpreet, it's not 15,000 words. It's 1,500 words, okay? 1,500 is 1,500. Now, it's like that. So 1,500 words, and you do need words, okay? So that's the easiest correct answer, 1,500 words. Make sure you have the S. Don't lose the mark on that. Plural, okay? Different languages use different expressions for numbers. I know that in Japanese, we'll say ichiman, which means 10,000, okay? In English, we don't say one word for this. We say 10,000. The other way that English differs from some languages is counting in hundreds, okay? So we'll say 1,500. Okay, so 1,500 means 1,500. It's also used for time, especially in the military or in official departments. They'll say 1,500 hours. Okay, 1,500 hours, if you ever hear that in English, means 15 o'clock, which is basically 3 p.m. Okay, so know that in English. All right? Yes, it's ichiman. That's right. Okay, so if you're studying Japanese, you know that that is one number. All right, in English, it's 10,000. Okay, so a little bit of different notation. Pay attention to that. Okay, last question, ladies and gents. The student's class ends at 11:30 a.m. on the day the paper is due. Decide whether the paper is handed in on time or late. This is an inference type question. Okay, there are these inference type questions where you have to understand several sentences from the audio and based on that information come up with the correct letters. So Write the correct letter A to B next to the question. So A, the student receives a late penalty. B, the essay is on time, no penalty. The paper is handed in at 5 p.m. the same day, dropped off at the department office with no timestamp received. Is it A or is it B? All right, there you go. Good for you. The answer should be, I think, A. You guys are saying B, but I think it's A. I think the reason it's A is because at the very end of the audio, the professor says, make sure to get a timestamp if you're dropping it off at the office. Right? Everybody agree with me on that one? I'm pretty sure the professor said, if you drop it off at the office, make sure to get a timestamp. Otherwise, he doesn't know if you dropped it off the same day or not. And if there's no timestamp, right, you'll probably get a late penalty because the professor's not going to pick up that paper till the next day. So I think the answer is A, not B. Okay? I think it's A. You know what? Let's have a look. Let's find out. All right? Pay attention to these negatives. IELTS really likes to catch you on that. Just a quick word of advice. If it seems too good to be true, which means if it seems too easy to be true, really, it could still be, but just double check. In that 30-second review time, double check for these kinds of negative words like no or didn't get a timestamp, all right? Because they like to catch you on that. They want to make sure you're paying attention to details. Remember, it's a part 3 listening, so it's not going to be too easy, all right? If it seems too good to be true, it might just be. All right, let's have a look at the answer key. Okay, we'll go mark these real quick here. And then we'll talk a little bit about active listening strategy. So give me 1 second here for the answer key. It's page 200 in the back of your book for those students who have our books. By the way, if you want to order the hard copy of our books, you can get them from Amazon. Just search for AE Helps Academic IELTS or GE Helps General IELTS on your Amazon bookshop. Okay, now in the back of the book, in our books, you actually have the timestamp for where the answers are coming from. So here for 21, the answer is B. It's coming between the 47 and 51 second interval. So 21 is B. She was ill. Okay. There you have the answer for 22. It's Monday, capital M. Don't give yourself a mark if you don't have that. 23, Juliet or Juliet. You can spell it either way. This is the English. This is the French spelling. Capital J. It's a name. Okay. 24, office hours. Note the S. 25, 20. 26, busters with an apostrophe, or busters is a plural with no apostrophe, so busters books. 27 is 25. 28, final exam. 29, 1,500 words. And 30 is A. I argue that that should be B because it's no timestamp. But hey, I'll discuss that with the people who wrote the book. By the way, I did not write this book, okay? All right. So, ladies and gents, that's section 3. Now, we're going to do part 4, section 4 of the listening in a moment here. But before we do that, I want to talk to you a little bit about active listening, okay? Let's chat about that for a minute. What is active listening? Okay? What is active listening? Casra, your intuition shouldn't play too much of a role in answering tricky questions, but it should be an alert or a siren in your head to double check a question and look for logic. Okay? All right. So let's talk about focusing on active listening. What is active listening? So Pranay says, paying attention to the audio. Yes, that's a very simple way, Pranay, to say it. Can anybody give me any other definition of active listening. What is active listening? It's a good question. Okay? Should be able to answer that because you should be doing it throughout the IELTS. So Arun says, listening with full attention. I like what Jod just said. So Jod, your peer in the chat, says, involving yourself while the audio is playing. So being an active element of the information. Naveen says, visualizing the information. Jeffrey says, paraphrasing information as you're listening. Okay? And also analyzing information. Okay, there you go, Patricio, there you go. Analyze the audio. Yeah, so that's what active listening is, okay? Active listening means to comprehend the information in the audio as much as possible. The global information, meaning the topic, and the detailed information, meaning the controlling elements. Okay? And how do you do that? And a lot of you are giving some great answers there. You're visualizing, you're paraphrasing, you're involving yourself, and you are analyzing. You are actively asking what, why, how. Okay? So you need to practice that at home. A lot of students have written me letters or have told me in my classes in the past, they've said, Adrian, the crazy thing is, I understand English, so I can understand the audio. I actually understand what the speakers are saying to each other. I understand the lecture that the professor is giving, but when I'm looking at the questions and listening, the information is just slipping past my mind, and I'm not able to focus in. I'm not able to catch the answers and get it down on the paper. What's going on? What do I need to do? And it's absolutely this active listening. Now, one of the ways to practice active listening at home is by using transcripts. Okay? So using transcripts is an excellent way to increase your active listening skills. The transcripts are basically the written text at the back of your book, okay? And this is why it's important to get quality IELTS materials. And it's really not a sales pitch here, ladies and gents. It doesn't have to be our exam books. You can get the Cambridge exam books. They also have the transcripts in the back. But any good IELTS material where you're focusing to improve your listening should include transcripts. They're very valuable for you. We spend a lot of time and energy as the makers of these materials to include those transcripts so that you can use them for learning. So use the transcripts, the script at the back of the book. Okay? Now, how do you do that? So what do you do with the transcripts? That's probably what some of you are thinking right now, right? Like, oh, okay, Adrian, that's great, but what do I do with the transcripts? They're there. What do I do? Well, here are some steps, okay? So this is one method to use the transcripts, okay? If you feel like you have really good listening skills, you might want to listen first and then read the transcripts. If you feel like, I'm not too good, especially part 3, part 4 listening are tough for me, then maybe use the transcripts before you listen. So let me jump to our transcripts here in our book and show you what I mean, okay? We'll go through these steps today. So let me get there now. Okay, here we go. So, this is what we just listened to. Okay. So we just listened to this audio. It's our CD2 because it's coming from test 2 and it's track 3. And then here's questions 21 to 26. So the professor talking to this student. Now, if you're in a classroom or if you're studying IELTS with a friend or a tutor, this is an excellent type of practice where basically when you have a dialogue like this, you each take a role and then go through the listening together. So let's say you are the student and your tutor or your partner is the professor. So you're Laura, and then you say, "Thanks a lot for making the time to see me, Professor Gorman. As I mentioned in my email, I've been very ill this past week, and missing the first week of school is not a good way to start the term." And I kind of sound like a witch of a ill woman, but that's fine. Have fun with it. Use intonation. Make it fun. Make it real. Don't just quickly read through it, okay? Don't be shy. Making your study materials unique and fun. It's a good way to learn more effectively. And then the other person continues as the professor, okay? "Indeed, it's not a very good start at all, but I think you can overcome it. You had a good grade in my course last term, and I'm sure this absence is just a bump in the road as far as this term goes. Now, what would you like to discuss?" All right? So develop an accent. It'll help improve your speaking. By the way, that's a huge added bonus to using the transcripts for listening, is that you're actually working on your speaking skills as well. I'm glad that I've put a smile on a few of your faces, and that's great, okay? Laughter, happiness, emotions strengthen information in our mind, so have fun with it. Okay, so then you go through the text and you take some more steps. Now, I'm not going to do this one because I'm by my lonely self in the studio. Maybe in the future I'll get one of my colleagues on board to do this with me in a live class, but instead we'll just jump to section 4, okay? So here we go. Often section 4 for the listening, questions 31 to 40, it's a lecture. So this you can do a little bit more sensibly by yourself, okay? Thank you for that applause, Suk Singh. I appreciate you. So section 4, you can do a little bit more by yourself because it's a lecture. You can do it in front of a mirror, okay? It's a good way. Watch yourself speak. So here we go. I'm going to read this, and then I'll show you what you need to do with these transcripts to make your listening more active, okay? Good evening, class. If you are registering for Anthropology 322, you are in the right place. Today, we will be talking about the most famous of all dinosaurs, Tyrannosaurus rex, or T-Rex, as it is commonly referred to. This dinosaur has a fearsome reputation, mainly due to popular culture, films, and books. In this class, we will be discussing the facts regarding the Tyrannosaurus rex as opposed to its Hollywood description. Ladies and gents, don't be shy. Read with me, okay? I'm not just here to entertain, although I'm glad you're having fun, but read with me, okay? Read with me. Tyrannosaurus rex lived from approximately 80 to 65 million years ago. Of course, the reason it died out 65 million years ago is the same reason all of the dinosaurs died out at that time. A massive asteroid which hit the Earth and destroyed almost all life. The period in which the Tyrannosaurus rex lived is known as the Late Cretaceous period. This reality is in contrast to fictional portrayals which often cast T-Rex as living in the Jurassic period. In fact, T-Rex did not come to be until 60 million years after the end of the Jurassic period. Tyrannosaurus rex was a meat eater, but it is not entirely clear whether it killed its own prey or if it merely scavenged the prey of other dinosaurs. In our minds, we imagine T-Rex fighting to the death with other dinosaurs. But it is not known for sure whether this is the truth. Okay, now at home, of course, you want to keep going, go through the whole transcript. For study purposes and for efficiency, I'm not going to do that right now. I will discuss with you the next steps. So what we're doing here is we're doing step number 1. We're reading. Okay? Now, you can read the whole text before you do step 2, or you can do step 2 meanwhile. Step 2 is paraphrasing. Okay? So we're going for that active listening skill. We're training our mind to be active in listening. So, paraphrase. Paraphrase means to say the same idea using different words, okay? And you should do this especially with difficult sentences that you're not sure what they mean, okay? So if we go back to what we just read, let's take a sentence here. So let's take this one and paraphrase it. So this dinosaur has a fearsome reputation mainly due to popular culture, films, and books. Okay, let's say I didn't really understand this sentence, so I want to make sure that in the future, if I hear something similar with these words, I will understand it. So then what you want to do when you're practicing this at home is write out the sentence and paraphrase it. So this dinosaur has a fearsome reputation. Okay, and then of course you write out the full sentence. Here I'm just taking a part of it. So then you paraphrase it. Okay, people think of the T-Rex as a scary dinosaur, all right? It has the same meaning. So this dinosaur has a fearsome reputation. People think of the T-Rex as a scary dinosaur, all right? So that would be a paraphrase for that. Now, you can practice paraphrasing with sentences that you do understand, but you realize probably will be different in the answer. So Tyrannosaurus Rex was a meat eater, but it is not entirely clear whether it killed its own prey. Okay, what's another way to say meat eater? So if you can paraphrase words and collocations into single words, that's great as well. What's another way to say meat eater in the English language? It's a good little test for many of you out there. Ali Reza says, I love paraphrasing. And Ali Reza, you are very smart for loving paraphrasing because learning to paraphrase is the key to success on IELTS. So it's definitely not vegetarian, Naveen. I'll agree with that. Sanjay Pachu Yad, carnivore or carnivorous. Carnivorous, yeah, it's carnivorous, meaning it eats meat. It's a carnivore. By the way, bonus question here, herbivore. Herbivore and omnivore. Okay, those are the other two. So herbivore is like a horse, only eats grass and plants. Omnivore, it's like a human or a bear. Likes to eat meat and vegetables, okay, or fruits and such. All right, so you paraphrase, good. Okay, so still active listening here. You read, you paraphrase. And then the other big one here is before you listen, and you should do this before you listen, okay, is you generate questions. And this is great exercise to do in partners or in your classroom especially, all right? You read a part of the transcript and then you generate some questions. So again, Tyrannosaurus Rex lived approximately 80 to 65 million years ago. Of course, the reason it died out 65 million years ago is the same reason all of the dinosaurs died out at that time. A massive asteroid which hit the Earth and destroyed almost all life. The period in which the Tyrannosaurus rex lived is known as the late Cretaceous period. This reality is in contrast to fictional portrayals which often cast the T-Rex as living in the Jurassic period. In fact, the T-Rex did not come to be until 60 million years after the end of the Jurassic period. So now we generate some questions. So, what killed the dinosaurs? Okay. What would be another question? So I just gave you a good question here. What would be another question that we could generate from that little paragraph that I read for you there? Give me some questions here, students. And of course, you want to answer these. So when you're working with your partner, one of you asks a question. You don't have to write this down. You could just do it verbally, especially if you feel confident. So you ask your partner, hey, what killed the dinosaurs? And they give the answer, well, it's the same that killed all dinosaurs. A big rock from space hit the Earth. A meteor hit the Earth. Okay. Sure. What could be another question? Jod says, who's the successor of the dinosaurs? There's no answer in there, Jod, so that wouldn't be a good question. What was the T-Rex eating? Tati says, yeah. It's a good one. Okay, sure. Yeah, Shanu's asking a very nice technical question. What was the name of the period in which the T-Rex lived? That's a very good question, Shanu. Make sure to ask it accurately. Repeat after me. What was the name of the period in which the T-Rex lived? Again, generating questions or asking questions is very good practice. Students do not do it enough. Students focus too much on answering questions and making statements and not enough on asking questions. But asking questions is just as important in English and sometimes even more important. So students should focus more on asking questions. They're too used to books and teachers asking the questions and not doing it themselves enough. So make sure to focus on that as well. So here you want to answer that. What did the T-Rex eat? It ate the meat of other dinosaurs, maybe ones it killed or maybe ones that other dinosaurs killed, and it lived in the late Cretaceous period, right? So that's when it lived. Okay, good job, students. So far, so good. You're doing a wonderful job. So once you do that, okay, so let's just quickly review this again. So you read the transcript, you paraphrase difficult sentences, or you paraphrase words that you believe are key words for answers, just like we've done here. With partners or even by yourself, you can generate some questions. Don't look at the actual exam questions, just do your own. Generate questions. This is very important because you'll often learn how IELTS creates questions from this information also, and you'll become parallel with the IELTS test makers, and that will help you to really be much more effective at understanding the questions in the official exam. So practicing this before your test is a very smart idea. Okay? Plus, this type of using transcripts is also, as I mentioned, helping improve your speaking skills. So now you've done that. So step number 4 is listen, okay? And step number 5 is answer, okay? So we're going to do step number 4 and 5 together here. I'm going to play the audio now for this listening section 4. So listen carefully, answer the questions. Once it's all done, we'll go over the answers, so have your pencil paper ready. Please do not write your answers in the chat. Do not write it in the chat. Give everybody a fair chance, okay? So here we go. Again, volume is max on my end, so use a headset. Turn up your volume if you need to on your side. And then this is again coming from our website here, from the audio section. Here we go. Everybody's ready and rock and roll.
Now turn to section 4. Take some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Listening section 4. You will hear a lecture about the dinosaur Tyrannosaurus rex. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good evening, class. If you are registered for Anthropology 322, you are in the right place. Today we will be talking about the most famous of all dinosaurs, Tyrannosaurus rex, or T-Rex as it is commonly referred to. This dinosaur has a fearsome reputation, mainly due to popular culture films and books. In this class, we will be discussing the facts regarding the Tyrannosaurus rex, as opposed to its Hollywood depiction. Tyrannosaurus rex lived from approximately 80 to 65 million years ago. Of course, the reason it died out 65 million years ago is the same reason all of the dinosaurs died out at that time: a massive asteroid which hit the Earth and destroyed almost all life. The period in which the Tyrannosaurus rex lived is known as the Late Cretaceous period. This reality is in contrast to fictional portrayals, which often cast the T-Rex as living in the Jurassic period. In fact, T-Rex did not come to be until 65 million years after the end of the Jurassic period. Tyrannosaurus rex was a meat-eater, but it is not entirely clear whether it killed its own prey or if it merely scavenged the prey of other dinosaurs. In our minds, we imagine T-Rex fighting to the death with other dinosaurs, but it is not known for sure whether this is the truth. Tyrannosaurus rex was a large dinosaur, not nearly the largest, mind you, but still large by any standards of modern-day wildlife. The dinosaur's length was approximately 12 metres, its height could reach 6 metres, and it weighed anywhere between 5 and 7 tonnes. That weight is the equivalent of about 80 average-sized human beings. If humans had been around back then, we would have been the perfect size for an afternoon snack. The location of T-Rex fossils discovered is very interesting. They have been found in western North America, as far south as Texas and as far north as Alberta, and they have also been found in eastern Asia, mainly in Mongolia. How is this possible? How can fossils be found in such different regions of the world? The answer is what geologists call continental drift. The continents have not always been in the same location. They have shifted, and around the time of T-Rex, western North America and eastern Asia were connected. This explains perfectly the discovery of the fossils in the different locations. One of the more well-known interesting facts about Tyrannosaurus rex is that it had extremely short arms. They measured only about 1 metre long, which is very short when you consider the size of the dinosaur. To put such small arms in perspective, it would be as if humans had arms that measured only 10 centimetres. What use would they be? Well, that is one of the questions that has led scientists to believe that T-Rex was a scavenger and not a predator. It is very difficult to believe that it could have been an effective predator, with arms being so important for hunting. Another fact that leads scientists to believe T-Rex was a scavenger was its extremely strong sense of smell. This enabled T-Rex to smell carcasses over long distances, giving it a big advantage as a scavenger. On the other side of the argument, T-Rex had very large serrated teeth, which would have been perfect for tearing through the tough skin of other dinosaurs. If T-Rex was a pure scavenger, it may not have required such teeth. Another interesting point about their teeth was that they were replaceable over time. Unlike humans, who grow only 2 sets in a lifetime, T-Rex's teeth could be replaced over and over throughout a lifetime. Again, this is evidence that they were, at least in part, likely predatory.
That is the end of section 4. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
Okay, so there you have half a minute to check your answers, and then another 10 minutes after section 4 to go and transfer your answers to the answer sheet. All right, so we'll stop the audio. By the way, there's a quick look at our website. You have interactive course material there. You have all of your full course and videos and your 6 exam books and everything. So remember that Cyber Monday coupon that you can use when you join our General IELTS or academic websites. All right, students, let's take a look at the answer key, and we'll go through the answers together here. Bear with me 1 second while I bring up that page. And here we go. So get ready to mark your answers. Number 31 was C. So all dinosaurs died out, T-Rex died out, and a massive asteroid hit the Earth. Okay. Number 32 was B. Okay, so mark your answers here. Mark your answers. Okay. Number 33 was B as well. The name of the theory that explains different fossils for that fill-in-the-blank question was continental drift. Okay. Capital C, capital D, because it's the name of a theory. So it's continental drift. All right. Now, 35 to 40, the filling in the blanks. It had very short arms. Okay. Short arms means that it was probably a scavenger. So here you had to fill in these words. The next one was distances. It could smell the carcass of other animals over great distances. It had sharp teeth to tear through tough skin. Okay, so skin was the answer for that. 39 is predator, and 40 is replaceable. Replaceable teeth. Okay, so those were the answers. This is where you find them in the audio. All right, ladies and gents, so that is a section 3 and 4 of listening. Remember, the key and the focus of today's lesson was on active listening. You have to practice active listening, okay? If you're just listening to audio over and over again and doing one test after another, trying to increase your listening scores, it does work, but it's not an effective way to improve your listening. You need to focus on active listening, okay? Distances is acceptable. Man, run, how, yeah. Distance or distances in apostrophe, or sorry, in brackets, it's fine. Man, run, how. So it's good, okay? All right. You can check your score, what band score you would get on our website. There is a score calculator on our website as well to calculate your band scores. Tomorrow we're doing reading strategy, filling in the blanks, ladies and gents. So make sure you're here for that, same time tomorrow. This was, again, a listening taken from our online course materials. So if you're studying for academic IELTS, join us at aehelp.com. If you're studying for general IELTS, do join us at gieltshelp.com. And again, you can use the deal of the year, which is Cyber Monday. Cyber Monday, 40% discount. The code is Cyber Day. So go on the page and type in Cyber Day. All right, girls and guys, great job today. Good focus. Well done. I wish all of you a great rest of your day. Have a good night's sleep. Get rested. Start the day fresh tomorrow. I'll try to do the same, get over this cold, and get back to you fully energized tomorrow with some reading. Bye, Shanu. Bye, Jeffrey. Thank you so much. Much love to all of you. Remember, you've got beautiful brains up there. Use them. Develop them. Don't let people discourage you or tell you otherwise. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.